Really just the guitar. I play the harmonica a little bit as well, and I mess around a little bit with the mandolin, piano. I wish that I had kept taking lessons on piano. My mom had me taking lessons, and I was too busy thinking about things like soccer and, you know, G.I. Joes, whatever you think about when you're an 8-year-old boy, that I gave it up, and I desperately wish I hadn't. Probably the most played artist would be Springsteen, and the most played song would probably be Thunder Road by Springsteen. I think there's always this, you know, anytime something kind of magical happens on stage, when you look around at the band and everybody knows that it happened, and the audience may not even know, but you kind of look at each other and you have this deep sense of satisfaction of like, man, can you believe that we get to do this and that people are listening to us? Anytime you just kind of take in the fact that you're playing music and people are listening to it, and they're not being forced to, they paid to come hear you play. That is for me, is a moment of pretty deep satisfaction. I would say the other night, I get to go the most recent, you know, I don't know how I would classify my music, maybe folk rock or whatever, but this guy who clearly didn't know much about my music came up to me and goes, man, I hate country music, but that's the best country music I've ever heard. And I was like, thank you. No. We've had we have people that bring us, you know, last night people brought us cookies and somebody handed me a Starbucks gift card. And I mean, I think in general, I would say most of my interactions with fans is that they're very generous, thoughtful people. My advice for aspiring musicians would be to work really, really hard at it, but to not take yourself too seriously, and remember that music is supposed to be fun. And yeah. I remember my 3rd grade music teacher, her name was Miss Orman, and she was this very fun and attractive, you know, young music teacher. And as a 9-year-old guy, it's not cool to sing, and she made it cool to sing because she was impressed with it. So that's really like the first time that I ever started, you know, having any interest in music. And then my parents both loved music, and we listened to a lot of road trips and listened to a lot of Al Green and Motown and Dylan and all kinds of stuff like that. And my mother played piano, and the way she would wake us up for school was she would play old hymns on the piano almost every morning of my childhood. So there were, you know, different strains of music coming in, and I myself began to listen to kind of pick my own records and stuff probably in middle school during the kind of Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Blind Melon during those years. I took guitar lessons in 7th grade from Miss Hodge. Yes, Miss Hodge.
Nice.
And she taught us like Peter, Paul, and Mary folk songs that were really easy, G, C, D. And before that, like I felt like music class had been a little bit more formal, and she kind of opened it up to, I remember very clearly the day that she played Jimi Hendrix's national anthem from Woodstock, and we were all like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's playing something that was this cool and this hip. But she just really kind of wanted to teach us about emotion, and like, you know, basically during the part where it's the Rocket's Red Glare, he kind of goes crazy and creates, you know, kind of a sonic answer to what that should look like. And so, but yeah, I took guitar there, and then really learned from a couple of other friends in school. We started taking it seriously, and would go home after school and play guitar all afternoon. I would say, thank you for caring about music, even when your students often treated it just like another class. And I think looking back on it now, I see that her heart was really to get kids to understand the way that music can portray all the different emotions that we have, and really tell our story. And you know, you see things more clearly in the rearview mirror sometimes. And so I'm really grateful to Miss Orman and Miss Hodge and Miss Cheatham. That I remember all my music teachers' names, so they were all really great.